श्रीशैलेशदयापात्रम् धीभक्त्यादिगुणार्णवम् यतीन्द्रप्रवणम् वन्दे रम्यजामातरम् मुनिम् लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भाम् नाथयामुनमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् यो नित्यम् अच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मव्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणम् प्रपद्ये लोकाचार्याय गुरवे कृष्णपादस्य सूनवे संसारभोगिसन्दष्टजीवजीवातवे नमः।
शैलेशदयापात्रम् धीभक्त्यादिगुणार्णवम् यतीन्द्रप्रवणम् वन्दे रम्यजामातरम् मुनिम् यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मव्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणम् प्रपद्ये लोकाचार्याय गुरवे कृष्णपादस्य सूनवे संसारभोगिसन्दष्टजीवजीवातवे नमः. We continue with the sutra that was explained earlier. So we are in the 105th sutra. ஆயா என்கிற வித்தால் சென்னால் குடையாம் என்கிறபடியே எல்லா அடிமைகளும் செய்ய வேணும் என்று அபேட்சிக்கிறது. ஆஹா, இந்நாராயண பதத்தாலே கைங்கரிய பிரதிசம்பந்தியான ஈஸ்வரன் படியை அருளிச் செய்தாராய்த்து இனி இதில் விபக்தியம் சத்தாலே கைங்கரியத்தை பிரார்த்திக்கிறபடியை அருளிச் செய்கிறார். So until now we have enjoyed the wonderful exposition of the meaning of the word Narayana. So according to Nyaya Shastra, according to the Nyaya Shastra or the Tarka Shastra, which is the most important Shastra as far as interpretation of the sentences is concerned. In Sanskrit language or in any other language for that matter, a word has to consist of two components. One is the nominal stem and then the case ending. This is true for all languages, including English. Suppose I say book, it doesn't mean any particular action. So it just denotes an entity. So I have to say, see the book or bring the book what is mentioned in the book or something like that. So a word constitutes of two components, namely the nominal stem, especially nouns. Of course, even verbs have the same aspect. So the nominal stem and then the suffix that denotes what is known as the interjection or something in English. So suppose I say in the book, that means the word book is the nominal stem, and then we have what is known as in. So this is English is like Hindi also, you say Raha, kitab ko, kitab mein, kitab se, etc. These, if the case ending or the suffix is separate from the word, it is known as a non-agglutinative type of language. Whereas Sanskrit, Kannada, Tamil, etc. are agglutinative type of languages according to the field of linguistics, where the case suffix is added to the word and it is considered as one word. This I have explained earlier also. So here once again we are going to explain that Narayana Aya. So Narayana Aya or Aya. So Aya is the case suffix of the dative case or Chaturthi Vibhakti. So what does the Chaturthi Vibhakti or the dative case mean in the current context? So the dative case is used to denote two principal meanings. One meaning is for the sake of, which is known as sampradana. So the example is given as Vipraya Gam Dadati. He gives a cow to the Brahmin. That means he wants a particular person or entity to be benefited, for which he performs an action. So when you say Vipraya Gam Dadati, he gives a cow to the Brahmin. It means he wants the Brahmin to be a beneficiary. This is one sense in which the dative case is used. The second sense is Tadarthye Chaturthi Vachya. And the example given is Yupaya Daru. So a person was carrying a log of wood. Then another person said, why are you carrying this log of wood? Which is known as Daru in Sanskrit. The answer was given as Yupaya. Yupa means the flag post, which is used in the Vedic sacrifices. So the person who was carrying the log of wood mentioned, I want to make a sacrificial flag post or the Dhvajastamba or Yupa, for which I am taking this log of wood. So it is Yupaya. That means for the sake of preparing a flag post, this thing will be used. So Yupa, Aya becomes Yupaya. Similarly, Narayana, Aya becomes Narayanaya. So what does this denote? As mentioned earlier, during the earlier sutras, it means that this Jivatma exists for the sake of the Supreme Lord alone. And when one says Om Namo Narayana, it means that he is doing what is known as Anusandhana, or constantly remembering that aspect, namely that I am totally subservient to the Supreme Lord, which is known as Sheshatva. And as I mentioned earlier, it has been mentioned, Na akinchit kurvataha sheshatvam. A person does not become shesha or subservient when he is not doing anything. For example, now I feel I am subservient to the Supreme Lord. But morning I get up, then I brush my teeth, go through the normal routines, then I have breakfast, and then I go to attend to my duties wherever the employment that I have taken. Then I have lunch, then I have snacks in the evening. Then night I come back, then refresh myself, have dinner, then go to bed. Is this the way a Shesha or subservient person behaves? No. If he is not doing anything for the sake of the Lord, then he cannot be considered as Shesha or subservient. So subservience essentially means the person who is subservient has to perform all types of services to the Supreme Lord or to whoever he is subservient. In this case, it is the Supreme Lord. So then the question arises as, who is the model of subservience? Then the answer given is Adishesha. So Swami Adavandar or Yamunacharya, who was the preceptor of Ramanujacharya, has beautifully described the different roles played by Adishesha in his Stotra Ratna. He says, Nivasa, Shayya, Asana, Paduka, Amshuka, Upadhana, Varshatapavaranaadibhihi, Sharira Bhedaihi, Tava Sheshatam Gataihi, Yathochitam Shesha Itirite Janihi. So already his name is Shesha, which means subservient. And he is known as Adi Shesha because he is the primordial serpent. Shesha also means serpent. It also means subservient. See how beautifully there is a coincidence. So what are the roles he is playing? Nivasa, he is the resting place of the Supreme Lord. He is the dwelling place rather, not the resting place. So he is the dwelling place of the Supreme Lord because in Vaikuntha or in all the Archa forms, iconic forms, the Supreme Lord stays on the Adishesha. It may be Srirangam or several other Divyadeshas where the Supreme Lord is found in what is known as Shayana Tirukkolam. And we come across the 108 chosen sites and several other sites. So in those days, they used to ask, Shayana Tirukkolama, Veethirundu Tirukkolama. So is the Lord situated here as if he is sleeping? Or is he in the sitting posture? Or is he in the standing posture? These are the three postures. Of course, in a Divyadesham called Tirukkodur, he is in a very different posture. There also he is standing, but one foot is pointing towards the sky. Since it is the iconic form of the Trivikrama avatar. But for example, in Melkote or Tirunarayanapuram, where I am residing right now, he is in the form where he is standing, Nindra Tirukkolam. In Srirangam, the Moolamurti is in the Shayana Tirukkolam, where he is sleeping. In many other places, he is in the Veethirundu Tirukkolam. He is as if he is sitting, the sitting posture. So in all these places, or mostly in most of the places, his dwelling place is the Adishesha, Nivasaha, and Shayya. So the Adishesha is also the Lord's bed. Then Asana, he is the seat on which the Supreme Lord sits. So he is the dwelling place, he is the bed on which the Lord reclines, he is the seat, Nivasa Shayya Asana, And many a times he is also the paduka, he is also the footrest, or we may not use the word slipper or chappals, they say, but yes, that is what this, the Adishesha is. He is proud to be that. Sandals, yes, that is the right word. Paduka. Then Upadhana, Varsha, Upadhana. He is also the umbrella who wards off rain, heat of the sun, etc. when the Lord is moving around. Thus, Adishesha takes different forms at different times. Sharira bhedaihi tava sheshatangapaihi. Therefore, he is known as Shesha according to tradition. Otherwise, also he is known as Shesha, which means a serpent. So, this is well told by one of the Alvars who says, Chandral Kudayam Irindal Shingashanamam Nindal Maravadiyam Ninnum Punayam Manividakam Pumpattam Pulhumanayam Tirumarkaravi. So when he moves, the Alvar has, or whatever has been mentioned by the Alvar earlier has been mentioned by Yamunacharya in the shloka which I just narrated. So when he moves around, Adishesha plays the role of an umbrella. Irindal Chingashanam. When he is seated, he plays the role of a throne. Like this, he plays several different roles. That is why he is known as Shesha. So, a individual soul or Jivatma who has realized his subservience to the Supreme Lord performs or wants to perform all types of services to the Supreme Lord. He wants to do this, he wants to do that, he wants to wave the chamara or the fan. He wants to offer so many different offerings. He wants to light the lamp. He wants to carry the Lord on the palanquin of the Lord when the Lord is taken around in the procession. He may want to actually carry a lamp. He may want to carry an umbrella that protects the physical form of the Lord. Like this, all types of kainkariams or services the individual soul would like to offer to the Lord. So, Aya means the entire existence of the Jivatma is for the sake of the Paramatma or the Supreme Lord. And how is this proven or shown? Suppose a mother is there, she loves her child very much, but she will not talk to the child, she will not feed her child, she will not actually ask it to, or sing lullabies to make it sleep. If she does not do anything and she says, I love my child very much, people will laugh at her. Or I have seen a few mothers who do not perform any of these duties. They engage some maid servant or somebody to do it. Then she will be censured by other women to say, what type of a mother is she? Even for making her own child to be fed, she is engaging some maid servant. What type of a woman is she? They will tell. So, the mother, even though she may be well-to-do, or she might be a princess, or she might be a queen, but when she becomes a mother, she is a mother alone by performing all types of services to her child. Because she loves the child so much that she will individually do it. She will not actually engage someone else to do it, even though she has the capability, she has the resources, and everything to do so. Similarly, this Jivatma, who is totally subservient to the Paramatma, will try to engage in all types of services. This service he wants to do, that service he wants to do, another service he wants to do. At the same time, he can. That is why it is also mentioned that they can take innumerable forms in Vaikuntha to perform innumerable types of kainkariams or services to the Supreme Lord. And the model among them is Adishesha, who is very meaningfully known as Shesha due to this reason. That's what this sutra says. இனிதில் விபக்தியம் சத்தாரே கைங்கரியத்தை பிரார்த்திக்கிறபடியே அருளிச் செய்கிறார். ஆயா என்கிற வித்தால் சென்றால் குடையாம் என்கிறபடியே எல்லா அடிமைகளும் செய்ய வேண்டும் என அபேட்சிக்கிறது. அதாவது ஆயா என்கிற இந்த சதுர்த்தியாலே சென்றால் குடையாம் என்கிற பாட்டில் சொல்லுகிறபடியே திரு அறந்தாழ்வானைப் போலே சர்வவித கைங்கரியங்களும் செய்ய வேணும் என்று அபேட்சிக்கிறது என்கை. நமசாரே தன்னோடுறவில்லை என்று வைத்து கைங்கரியத்தை பிரார்த்திக்க கூடுமோ என்னில். நமசாரே தனக்கெல்லா ஒன்றை விரும்புகைக்கு பிராப்தி இல்லாத அத்தியந்த பாரதந்திரியம் சொல்லியிருக்க கைங்கரியத்தை தான் விரும்பி அபேட்சிக்கை சம்பவியாதே என்றிருக்கும் அவர்கள் பண்ணும் பிரஷ்னத்தை அனுவதிக்கிறார். நமசாலே தன்னோடுறவில்லை என்று வைத்து கைங்கரியத்தை பிரார்த்திக்க கூடுமோ என்றருளிச் செய்கிறார். படியாய் கிடந்துன் பவளவாய் காண்பேனே என்கிறபடியே கைங்கரிய பிரார்த்தனை வந்தேரி அன்றே ஸ்வரூப பிராப்தம். So here, after saying so, a very important question is raised by Swami Pillai. So the word Namaha, which was explained earlier, denoted total paratantriya or absence of independence of the Jivatma as far as the Paramatma is concerned. So when he is totally subservient in the sense that he is like a slave who has no individual cravings. A slave cannot have individual cravings. So probably many years ago or several centuries ago, we had the concept of bonded laborers. So it was mentioned earlier in this work also, where it was mentioned as கிரகிணி கண்ணன்னே ஆவணியோலை எழுதுவது ஆகிலும் பணி செய்வது கிரகிணிக்கிறே. It was as if it is the concept of bonded laborers used to exist, it seems. So we came across the sutra or the aphorism where it was mentioned that when a bonded laborer is brought to a family, the orders are not given by the head of the house. In fact, it is given by the lady of the house, who is the wife of the head of the house. Similarly, when we say that the individual soul is like a bonded laborer to the Supreme Lord, he is automatically subservient to Goddess Mahalakshmi or Shri. So from this, what is evident is that there was a concept of what is known as bonded laborers. That means they are servants for life. That is known as bonded labor. And I think in America also, this concept existed about 200, 300 years back. When servants were generally, when certain classes of people, kindly mistake me if I use any word that is inappropriate because I am not familiar. So when this concept of, I think during the period of Abraham Lincoln or somebody who abolished this practice, when certain classes of people were actually used as bonded laborers and they used to be sold and bought by people who belong to certain other classes. So I don't want to go into any political issue. But such a practice existed. But one thing which is to be noted is the Indian context. Though the concept of bonded labor was there, the people who were the masters were most compassionate and treated them like their own children. So many a times bonded labor was aspired for because they would enjoy being the recipients of a high level of affection from the masters. So just as, for example, now I own a cow or a dog. So if I am the owner of the cow, what will I do? I will ensure that it is fed properly with all the what we call the concentrates in the animal husbandry language. I will ensure that it is given the best fodder. I will ensure that it is given the best grass. I will ensure that it is looked after well, it is washed properly, and it is put up in a good place which is clean and hygienic. So does the cow ask me, its master, will you feed me properly? Will you take care of me properly? No. So if I bring a cow, if I purchase a cow and bring it to my home, I will think that it is my own, it's like my own progeny, and I will look after it. And I have seen several hundreds of people who take care of their dogs more than they take care of their children. So when a person is like a bonded labor, actually the responsibility of the master increases. And the responsibility of the person who is said to be the bonded person or bound person decreases. So the cow does not actually, it never thinks about what is my master going to feed me tomorrow, will he take care of me tomorrow, etc. It will never think about those things. It will just enjoy being subservient to its master. It will not have any individual cravings. Of course, it may crave for food, etc. That's a different thing. So the question raised here is, when you say that the individual soul is totally subservient to the Supreme Lord, that he is paratantra, can he have such cravings of performing different types of kaikarya to the Supreme Lord? Is it appropriate for a person who is like a bonded labor, who is totally subservient to the Supreme Lord, to actually have some cravings of kaikarya also? That is the question raised, which was actually when the word Namaha was mentioned. So it was mentioned that Maha means the Jivatma thinks that he is subservient to himself, whereas Namaha means he has realized that he is totally subservient to the Supreme Lord and he does not have a separate existence of his own. When it has been mentioned like this, how can he ask for something? If he asks for something or if he craves for something, then it means that he has not realized his paratantriya or total subservience. If he has realized, how will he ask? If he has not realized, then he is not aware of his own swarupa or his nature. So either way, it is a contradiction. So this is the question asked when Buddhalokacharya says, Namasale tannod reville என்று வைத்து கைங்கரியத்தை பிரார்த்திக்க கூடுமோ என்னில். அதற்கு உத்தரம் அருளிச் செய்கிறார் படியாய் கிடந்து என்று தொடங்கி, அதாவது படியாய் கிடந்தும் பவளவாய் காண்பேனே என்று அத்தியந்த பாரதந்திரியத்தோட கைங்கரிய பிரார்த்தனையும் சொல்லுகிறபடியே கைங்கரிய பிரார்த்தனை ஸ்வபோக்திருத்வ ரூப அகங்கார பிரயுக்தமாய் கொண்டு Vanderiyanadu Andre Sheshi Katishetai Vilaitallaridan Dhariyada Padiyada Tan Swarupatai Patti Vandadengai. So when I hope you have understood what is how the question is raised, then the answer is given in a very beautiful manner. What is the answer? So the answer is given by quoting a verse from the great Perumal Tirumuli of Kulashekara Alvar. So I hope you all know what is the story of Kulashekara Alvar. So he is the person who says, if I am given a place in the Bhuloka of perpetually worshipping the Lord, having the vision of the Lord, I am not interested even in Vaikuntha. So that's what it is believed that he said. So the answer he is given by quoting a verse from Kulashekara, where he says, Padiyai kidandun pavalavai kanbeni. What do I want? What do I crave for? I want to become a stone. I want to become the threshold stone. So when in India, when you have to come inside the house, there is what is known as a threshold or doorstep. That means there will be a small protrusion from the floor, which actually demarcates the beginning of the house from outside. So that is known as Padi or the doorstep. So Kulashekara Alvar said, I want to become the doorstep of your sanctum sanctorum and always have the darshan of your lotus-like mouth. Padiyai kidandu un pavalavai kanbeni. So when my father used to go to Tirupati, and I have accompanied him many times, probably 100 times. So due to the respect everybody had for him, during the Shattumare or the daily Mangalam in Tirumala, the dear Swami would take him and he would be the first person to stand outside the sanctum sanctorum. Because other than the designated people, nobody can go inside the sanctum sanctorum or the Garbhagriha. So my father would be the first person to be made to stand during the Shattumare or concluding prayers, where he could have the darshan of the Lord Srinivasa for about 15 to 20 minutes continuously. And then when somebody used to ask him, did you have good darshan? He used to say, yes, I was made to stand next to the Kulashekara Padi. So that doorstep itself is known as Kulashekara Padi or the Kulashekara doorstep, which means that is the first position where this doorstep itself is known as Kulashekara, because Kulashekara said he wanted to be the doorstep and see, because the doorstep always has the privilege of watching the beautiful mouth of the Supreme Lord. So my father used to often say, I was made to stand next to the Kulashekara Padi and have the darshan. That is how he used to express to the people. When he was asked, did you have good darshan? So that is known as Kulashekara Padi in all the Divya Deshas, not only in Tirumalai, but all the Divya Deshas. So Kulashekara Alvar said, I want to become a stone which forms the doorstep of your sanctum sanctorum and perpetually have your darshan or have the beautiful darshan of your mouth. So the greatness of the mouth of the Supreme Lord is explained by Andal or Goda Devi also. So ordinary people may feel, is she mad? But in the Nachiyar Tirumudi, which comes after the Tiruppavi, there is one decade or a group of 10 stanzas where she actually speaks to the conch of the Lord, Shankha of the Lord. She tells the conch, "O conch, you are the most privileged person according to me in this world. Because when the Lord blows his conch, you can come in contact with the beautiful lips of the Lord. He holds you in his lotus-like hands. And he actually, when he blows you, you come directly in contact with the lips of the Lord. What greater privilege can a person have? And the mouth of the Lord is so divine. It is having such a beautiful odor. And yes, it's as if he kisses the conch. So Goda Devi or Andal actually devotes one group of 10 stanzas to actually talk and appreciate the greatness of the conch, wherein she addresses the conch as if it were a person. He says, Karuppuram Narumo, Kavalappu Narumo, Tiruppavalacchavairan, Dittittirikumo, etc. So the mouth and the lips of the Lord are so much desirable. So Kulashekara Alvar says, I want to be a stone and enjoy the beauty of that perpetually. So here the question asked is, does Kulashekara Alvar have the realization that he is totally subservient to the Lord or not? Definitely he has, otherwise how would he have been considered as an Alvar? So definitely it is, he has the realization. But even then, he has an iota of swatantriya or independence in requesting the Lord to provide his beautiful vision or provide his beautiful kainkariya or subservience. So here Swami Pullilokacharya distinguishes between two aspects. One is Swarupa Prapta, that is bestowed by nature on a person, that is known as Swarupa Prapta. Another is that which is that which is bestowed artificially, that is known as Vanderi in Tamil. So in Sanskrit there is a saying, Bhushanam natu dushanam. So if a person totally subservient to the Supreme Lord, as a mark of subservience, requests the Supreme Lord to give him more and more and more and more kainkariya or subservience, it is in accordance with his nature and not against his nature. So here Pullilokacharya very beautifully says, though a person has realized by means of continuously realizing the meaning of the word Namaha, which says that this Jivatma has no independent existence on its own. It has no independent volition, it has no independent aspiration, etc., other than the subservience. It is well within his limits or well within its nature to ask for kainkariya or all types of kainkariya. So it is Swarupa Prapta and not implied, or it is not a thing that is thrust upon him or something that is against his nature. Just like Kulashekara Alvar, who says he wants to be like an achetana or insentient object of like a stone. That means, we have discussed this earlier also, they call it as Jadavat Paratantri. So we have seen this, the wonderful example for this given is in the Ramayana, where they call it as Charamopaya Nishtha or Antimopaya Nishtha. So that is I have explained it, Bhagavat Sheshatva is the first step, Bhagavat Paratantriya is the second step, Bhagavata Sheshatva is the third step, Bhagavata Paratantriya is the fourth step, and the ultimate is Bhagavata Sannidhive Achidvat Paratantriyam or Jadavat Paratantriyam. He is Paratantra, or he is governed by the other person as if he is an insentient object. So Kulashekara Advaras, when he says, I want to be like a stone which forms the doorstep of your sanctum sanctorum and enjoy the beauty of your wonderful mouth, this is the ultimate pinnacle of what a real devotee can ask for. And it is very much in line with the Paratantriya that he possesses. And it is not against his Swarupa. So, asking for Kaikarya, more and more and more and more Kaikarya, servitude, 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 servitude. Servitude of all types, servitude at all times, etc., is very much in line with the nature of the Jivatma, which is considered or which is explained by the word Namaha. And this is well established when one studies the stanza that is authored by Kulashekara Alvar, which says, Padiyai kidandu un pavadavai kanbene. Therefore, the volition of the individual soul who has realized his total subservience to ask for more and more and more servitude unto the Lord, he is very much in line with his nature and it's not against his nature. That is the answer given. Padiyai kidande un pavadavai kanbene endru அத்தியந்த பாரதந்தியத்தோட கைங்கரிய பிரார்த்தனையும் சொல்லுகிறபடியே கைங்கரிய பிரார்த்தனை ஸ்வபோக்திருத்வரூப அகங்கார பிரயுக்தமாய் கொண்டு வந்தேரியானது அன்று. சேஷக்கி அதிசயத்தை விளைத்தல்லதுதான் தெரியாதபடியான தன் ஸ்வரூபத்தை பற்றி வந்தது என்கை. So he very beautifully explains it. So when, suppose I want to enjoy something, I want to enjoy a drink. So will I enjoy the drink for the sake of the drink or for my sake? I want to get a sort of happiness when I consume the drink. So the drink is for me and I am not for the drink. Or I want to consume some very wonderful dish. Say I want to consume an ice cream. So ice cream is very sweet, it is cool, it's cold, especially in a tropical country when it is hot. Everybody thinks consuming ice cream is so wonderful, it satisfies the taste buds and also instills a sense of happiness in us. So I want to consume the ice cream because I want to feel happy. So when a person, the question asked here is, see how subtle, to what subtle level they have gone. When a person asks for kainkariya or subservience, he actually attains some happiness from the kainkariya. Then it suffices to say that kainkariya is subservient to one's own happiness, just as the ice cream is subservient to my happiness. This is against the spirit of kainkariya. That's what is the question asked. But then, if it is Bhagavat kainkariya, if it is subservience to it involves subservience to the Supreme Lord, servitude to the Supreme Lord, then it is not so. So, because it is equally, it brings happiness equally to the Lord as much as the person who is doing the service. Therefore, asking for more and more and more of service unto the Supreme Lord is Swarupa Prapta. It is in line with the nature of the person who is serving, and it's not against his nature. So the analogy of an ice cream does not hold good in this context. I have given the example of ice cream. That analogy has not been given here. But just for the sake of easy understanding, I have given this example. Therefore, though the Jivatma has realized his total subservience, it is not against his nature to ask for more kainkariya. It is in line with his nature, and it is very much appreciable if he does that. These are the great, wonderful nuances. Only a great Acharya like Pillaloka can point out, and we can understand these things only when explained by Swami Manavada Mami. Otherwise, nobody will even know how to raise such a question and also give an appropriate answer, as I have been mentioning over the last several classes. So we conclude with this here today, and we continue next week. Any questions?
Dr. Alwar Swami?
Yes.
Namaskara. Thank you for this beautiful session.
Thank you.
Previously I sent you an email with a specific question, and you asked me to raise it during one of the sessions.
I have noted the question. So you please, can you repeat the question? I will answer it now itself.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes.
It's a statement that I read in Patricia Mume's one of her books. She's quoting from Sri Manavala Mamuni's commentary on Acharya Hridayam, text 27, section 27. And she writes, love, the singular desire for complete Sheshatva, motivates Kainkarya. Kainkarya is based on love arising from experience of the Lord. And my question is, what particular word does Manavala Mamuni use for the English that's been translated as love?
Yes. So I wanted to explain this in detail. One big problem we have in English language is that there is no difference. There is no different word to describe the different types of loves.
Right.
There also I have to use the word love. We cannot help it. So even the love a husband has for his wife is love. Even the once again I have to use love only. The sentiment a girlfriend and boyfriend have, that is also love. Mother and the son also, that is also called as love. So like he says, filial love, growing parental love, conjugal love, etc. So the term here is misleading because she has translated it as love, because there is no other word. As I was mentioning, and recently Rajiv Malhotra has written a beautiful book called The Sanskrit Non-Translatables. You can go through that book. He has written a fairly good, he has given a fairly good account of how they cannot be translated, and unless a person learns Sanskrit language, he will not be able to understand the connotations. So that is one aspect, that is which is the cause of certain people being misled by the word. So I will just explain. Ivai irandukkum prerakangal ivai enna சொல்லுகிறது இவற்றுக்கு இத்தியாதி இவற்றுக்கு விதிராகங்கள் பிரேரகங்கள் அதாவது எஜேதா டுஹுயாத் இத்தியாதியான சாஸ்திர விதி. கர்மங்களுக்கு பிரேரகம் அசேஷ சேஷத்தை கரத்தியான ராகம் கைங்கரியத்துக்கு பிரேரகம் என்கை பகவத் அனுபவ ஜனித பிரீதிகாரிதமிரே கைங்கரியம் உகந்து பணி செய்து என்னக்கடவதிரே. Yes. So here there are two aspects that are to be understood. In the Mimamsa Shastra, two different types of duties are mentioned. Duties in the sense, one type of activity is known as vidhi prapta, and another type of activity is known as ragata prapta. So the answer given is snatva bhunjita. Snatva bhunjita means what? The meaning, the literal meaning of this statement is as follows: one should have food after taking bath. Are you following me?
Yes. Thank you.
So the question raised is, one should have, here the injunction is one should have food.
Right.
So is there an injunction necessary to instruct a person to have food? It is no. The answer is no. It's categorical no, because nobody needs to instruct a person to have food, because it is ragata prapta, it is instinctual. Of course, if a person is not eating properly due to some other problem, then we say, please eat properly. That's a different context altogether. But even a young newborn child will cry for its craving to have something, that is the milk of the mother. And even when we become hungry, we are bound to lose our temper also. And if we don't eat, we will not survive. Therefore, for survival, the instinct of hunger occurs in our body, and immediately we want to eat something. Especially if somebody is used to have breakfast early in the morning continuously from his childhood, he will not be able to skip breakfast even for one day or even by few hours. He'll say, I am hungry, give something, I am hungry, give something. So hunger is a human instinct, and nobody needs to make a rule in the constitution that if a person is hungry, he should eat. So hunger, sleep, ahara, nidra, etc., hunger, sleep, these are all human instincts, and therefore there is no injunction required to ordain a person to do so. Then why is it mentioned that snatva bhunjita, eat after taking bath? It is snana vidhi, not bhojana vidhi. So the statement which says eat after taking bath implies that one should take bath without fail before having food. So the verdict given in this context is, it is an injunction to take bath without fail, because we all know several people in this world, without bathing they eat. Of course, we don't do that. Without bathing, we don't eat anything or consume anything. So those who are in such a tradition, they will not do so. So it has been ordained that this is the snana vidhi or injunction to take bath, not to eat. Because you don't need an injunction to say that one should consume food, because it's a human instinct which is known as ragata prapta. So in this context, the question raised is, when a person wants to perform kainkaryam or servitude unto the Lord, Is it Vaidha or is it Raghava Prapta? Is it ordained or is it instinctual? This is the question raised in this sutra. Then the answer given by Alahimanvala Perumal Nayanar, who was the elder brother of Pillanokacharya, he says, so the Vedic sacrifices, including Sandhyavandanam, etc., are Vaidha. They're a matter of injunction. Because nobody will be, even when we were young, we were asked to perform Sandhyavandanam forcefully. Because we don't know what are its benefits. Suppose there is an 8-year boy and an 8-year-old boy. He doesn't know what are the benefits of exercising. His parents will say, no, do exercise, you may put on weight. Otherwise, you have to maintain the health of your different parts of your body, like lungs, heart, etc. So you have to do exercises, and they will force him to do so that he keeps a good level of fitness. So that is known as Vaidha. So performing the Vedic sacrifices, like Agnihotra or so many other things, they are not instinctual. Whereas Kainkarya or servitude unto the Lord becomes instinctual because it is, that's what Manavana Mamani says, it is Bhagavad Anubhavajanita Pritikarita Ashesha Avastojita Ashesha Kainkarya, as Ramanujacharya has mentioned. So when one has the vision of the Supreme Lord, he cannot do anything but serve him. So one need not have an injunction to say that hereafter you should perform Kainkaryam to the Lord, hereafter you should perform various services to the Lord. Because it becomes instinctual as soon as he has the vision of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, one need not have an injunction, Vedic injunction or rule or some other verdict, a court verdict or something like that, for to make a person engage in Kainkarya of the Supreme Lord. On the other hand, it becomes instinctual on account of his having the vision of the Supreme Lord. That's what this means. Is it clear now?
Thank you so much, Swami, for that beautiful, detailed response.
Yes, thank you. So I hope your doubt is clear.
You've answered the question fully, Swami. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So we will conclude with the Mangala Shloka. Chedramanujetyesha chatura chaturakshari कामवस्थां प्रपद्यन्ते जन्तवो अन्तमादृशः पुण्यां भोज विकासाय पापध्वान्तक्षयाय च श्रीमानाविरभूत् भूमौ रामानुजदिवाकरः तृणीकृतविरिञ्चादिनिरङ्कुशविभूतयः रामानुजपदाम्भोज समाश्रयेण शालिनः।